H-A-T. It's in the name.
Welcome in to the Helping Healing Humor podcast with
Pola
and Kaylie. We're going to be interviewing Ben and Travis today, and we're going to get to that conversation right after these messages.
This episode of the Helping Healing Humor podcast is brought to you by the 2023 Heritage event on Saturday, August 26th, featuring an incredible night of music from the frontmen of Country, the Secret Sisters, and Cadence Baker. General admission tickets and table sponsorships are available for purchase. For more information, visit www.hcu.edu. The mission of Heritage Christian University is simple. They aim to advance the churches of Christ by equipping servants through undergraduate and graduate programs. HCU produces effective communicators of the gospel, focusing on evangelism and a commitment to Scripture. Heritage Christian University offers the following degrees: Associate of Arts in Biblical Studies, Bachelor of Arts in Biblical Studies, Master of Arts, Master of Ministry, and Master of Divinity. HCU is accredited by the Association for Biblical Higher Education and is an associate member of the Association of Theological Schools. Since 1968, Heritage Christian University has offered affordable degrees in biblical studies, allowing graduates to thrive in their ministries without the burden of loan debt. For the fall 2023 semester, HCU is offering full tuition scholarships for graduate-level students. For more information about Heritage Christian University or the annual Heritage event, visit www.hcu.edu.
Hey everybody, this is Pola, and
This is Kaylie Hendrix.
today we're interviewing Travis Crazy and Ben Hayes at Maywood Christian Camp. We have to ask what is y'all's favorite memory in camp is.
Oof.
It might be
Some good
embarrassing, might be
Yes,
fun.
plenty of embarrassing.
Yeah, please. Yeah. Tell us something crazy.
Tons of embarrassing moments.
If it's your favorite.
Favorite memory.
There's so many.
I
it's
love
hard.
the year, like the leap year when I was in middle and high, whenever I was here, because the leap year they did Sadie Hawkins. And so they lined up all the boys down on the ball field, and they lined up the girls behind them, and they let the boys run. And whatever girl caught you and tagged you, that's who you went to bonfire with. And so
Wow.
that was really cool.
Nobody chased us.
I don't know if that's my.
No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
You
Ben and I
were
were over
too
there eating
fast,
popcorn.
too fast.
This is really cool. This is really
Like we
awesome.
just decided not to run, and they
Yeah.
all went by us.
Yeah.
So,
Man.
I don't
I
actually
think the
remember
skits
what I
for
did.
me and were the big deal. It used to be
They
skit
were
night.
awesome,
It
yeah.
wasn't talent night. It was skit night, and we were us and another group, and maybe there may have been three of us that were really like into skits,
Mhm.
and we really went all out. And everybody else got tired of losing to us three, and that's why they don't do it anymore. Yeah,
Back
maybe
then,
when-
you could pick
yeah.
on people without it being offensive.
No, I mean, it was
Uh,
all bets
we're
were
over
off.
that.
It's
Yeah,
great.
and so we would that's probably the beginning of some of the Ben and Travis videos, because we wrote those skits back then, and then now we kind of write
So y'all got the
Ben
memory
and
train
Travis.
running,
Yeah.
because we did Lion King one year,
Yep.
and I was the meerkat.
Yeah, but we
And so
always
we-
turn it into
yeah.
like lyrics about Maywood, so it would be like
That's
something.
awesome.
I come,
where-
come
Yeah.
sliding in,
Yeah.
with the glasses. That was
So
that was
we
me,
would- We would
so.
do different songs or different skits that would kind of make fun of the whole week. So we would make sure and pick on every counselor that we could. Most of the time, not the kids.
It's a blast from
But
the
sometimes,
past
if
with
you had a really good
with Dean
personality.
up there singing a song, because like
That's true.
that was the
'Cause
whole
his dad
crew.
used
Like
to-
Garrett and all those guys were talented. Yeah, but they were in our cabin, so it worked to our advantage.
So we had a couple of years where we had some really colorful individuals in our cabins. And there was all kinds of stories about things that would happen to them, and the way that they would pick on each other and go back and forth and argue with each other, and we just had a good time. I just remember, it was constantly laughing in the cabins. I hope it's still like that for all the other groups. I hope you have these, and I noticed a lot of little inside jokes today, when they were going through it. So I think, and not that there's just one big, huge memory, but that was probably one of the ones that, those are the things that kind of stand out to me. Just just having fun in the cabins, laughing. Some of those stories we probably can't tell or shouldn't tell.
Please,
People might not
detail,
like us if
right.
we told them all.
Not detailed.
But definitely that, and just so we used to, I know y'all don't. Well, you might remember the old lunchroom. You remember the old mess hall?
Mhm.
So it was really small, and it was not really well air conditioned. It had like a box fan, I think, in it. And so one of the things I always loved, of course, I would lose my voice by Wednesday because we would line up.
Yeah, the singing class never ended.
On this,
Me right now.
as soon as the singing class
We would
ended,
just sing through
we
the
would
line.
walk all the way down to the mess
Outside.
hall, and then we had
In the heat.
back then you had to
Wait to
line
get
up
in.
outside. You couldn't line
Okay.
up,
Yeah.
so you were lining
And
up.
a couple of those years, shorts were not allowed. So
Yeah,
you're
we
in
were
blue
wearing
jeans.
jeans.
Shorts weren't allowed.
And
Yeah,
the
when we
heat
were
was
young,
coming down.
back in the
That's-
old days, you had to wear blue jeans.
Yeah.
Did the girls have to wear skirts or did they wear blue jeans
I
too?
think it was
Dresses.
pants.
Bro,
I think it was
that's
pants.
too
I guess you could
much.
get away with the
Stroke.
dress.
You
could
could
get
have
away
worn a
with the
dress probably and get away with it.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Anyway,
So on
sorry.
on
Oh.
this side there was actually a canopy and it was shaded, so the girls would usually line up on that side and the boys would line up on this other side. And so, but there was a group of us that there was several
They would
singers.
just give up. They would give it up to go
Pam
sing.
Skidmore
Yeah,
was one
Pam
of them.
was always out there.
And so we would all line up and we would sing all the way into the mess hall. So by the time we finally go into the building, we get our plates because as soon as you walked in the building, you got your plate. And so the singing would continue until then. So we
And
might
then you got
sing
in,
30
and
more
the
minutes
around the
waiting
mess hall went from
Never
the
stopped.
beginning of lunch to the end, like nonstop. Somebody was going around the mess hall. So it's singing outside. You get in, and it's
It was
like
singing again.
you better be listening because they might be singing your tune.
Yeah.
But it was loud, and that's why Stephen Henry hates it to this day
Yeah.
and tries to disrupt
So-
it.
Singing all the time. So that's probably
I love that.
I love that too.
Yeah.
It's good.
It was just, we weren't worrying about speaking back then either. So it's like
No.
if you lose your voice by Wednesday,
who cares?
you're just doing it right.
That's
doing
me.
camp
I'm
right.
gonna have
So-
no voice tomorrow after screaming at that talent show.
And here we are using the
But way to
beginning.
Hey,
keep
it's
it
okay.
going.
It's okay.
Way to keep it going.
Join us for the thrilling second annual Staying Alive Disco Dodgeball Tournament. This event is more than just a battle on the dodgeball court. It's a chance to make a real impact in the fight against childhood cancer. By participating, you'll be helping us raise funds to support a cause close to our hearts, ending childhood cancer once and for all. August 19th, 2023 at 10 a.m. on the campus of Mars Hill Bible School in Florence, Alabama. Get ready to show off your disco moves and dodge, duck, dip, dive, and dodge again. With disco lights, funky tunes, and atmosphere filled with infectious energy, this tournament will be an unforgettable experience for all. Gather your friends, family, and colleagues to form teams of 6 to 10 and battle it out on the dance floor turned dodgeball arena. With prizes for the winning team and individual awards for the most spirited intros, everyone has a chance to shine. But here's the best part. Every dollar raised during this event will go directly towards supporting initiatives to end childhood cancer. By participating or simply donating, you'll be contributing to a cause that can change the lives of countless children and their families. Together, we can make a difference. Spread the word and invite your friends, colleagues, and neighbors to be a part of this amazing event. Let's come together as a community and show our support for those bravely fighting childhood cancer. So put on your disco shoes and grab your dodgeball gear. It's time to disco and dodge for a great cause. Sign up now and be a hero on and off the dodgeball floor. To register or learn more, visit our website, benandtravis.com/dodgeball.
Okay, so the next thing we're talking about, I know you sat in on some of Chris Moran's classes,
Yes.
and I haven't got to sit in on any of them, but they were talking about ministry.
Part of that class, we started talking about community, and obviously, since it was a split class, we started talking about women in the church.
Mhm.
And since we transitioning into the older age, when we're out of high school, we're in college, we're thinking about our place in the church and how we need to start looking for a ministry or look for a niche to almost take responsibility off, or just concentrate on energy on focus energy on to make it more effective.
Yeah.
So, do you want to come?
Yeah,
pick up?
so it's been a struggle for me. So I taught with another girl. We taught the nursery class because we just needed somebody to teach it. And I mean, I love kids, but I would teach like the older kids, but obviously nursery, you're just babysitting kids. So then I was just kind of thinking, like, what do I want to do? Because I know some ladies in church who just have taught kids. They've taught since I was way before I was born, and they're still teaching. They're still going, and they're just eating it up. And I'm like, look, I'm not really feeling that. But also, it's hard for me
Yeah.
because, like, my talents in life outside church are in music. And, like, I'm not a man. And I can't lead singing. Like, whenever we were sitting there in the singing class today with Chase, I literally looked at Pola and I was like, man, I really wish I could do that. Like, I really wish I could, like, get up there and teach people what music is and sing and do this. And, like, obviously I can sing. And I love being able to sing the parts
I was
we do.
going to ask if your whole entire family sings well, because, man,
Yes.
you guys get up there and
Yeah.
tear it up. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, maybe. But basically, like, for women, it's how do we go about finding our ministry whenever our talents might not be in things that we're necessarily able to do a lot in, or like how could we, if maybe you can make your talents go into stuff like that, like how would you?
Well, the doors are open more and more because of technology. Just because you are girls and you're doing this podcast, this episode will have like triple the listens because women want to hear women. Podcast, like seriously, if it happens every time we've ever had a woman on, it blows up. Like people want to hear what you have to say, and this is an avenue of doing that. I think that going back to the structure, and I'm always thinking anything can be reformed that has human beings in it. But Jesus very rarely ever talks about standing up in front of people as being a leader. Service. Like he's always talking about washing people's feet, being behind the scenes, and women are the best at that. Like you guys are just gifted in that. And it's unfortunate, right, that we've put such an emphasis, and preaching's wonderful. I love speaking. I'm going to do it tomorrow night. It fires me up and I excite it. And like, I understand if somebody came to me and said, you can't do that anymore, how that would be devastating. But I think it's important as a whole. If I could change one thing for the universal church, it would be that service first. There are people who can get up and eloquently teach and do all those things, and they just don't I'm so much better in front of people. My wife has said this, like, you are an entertainer, you love being in front of people, but there are certain people that you get around one-on-one and you can't do it. Like you can't bring yourself to connect with them. And like more and more, I get jealous of people who can do that. And so I would say first and foremost, you got to look at everything you're doing as service, because I like the ego trip. Speaking can be an ego trip. Like
as singing,
things like it can be
'cause
that. And so I think the first base is starting with, I want this to be for the Lord. And then all of a sudden, when that takes place, it kind of takes the edge off of I want to do it and I can't in certain aspects, right? Like it helps you begin to flourish on, well, the opportunities I do have. So I think my original point is technology. Like you guys will be phenomenal in a podcast format, and then people can choose to listen to you or not. And if a bunch of men listen to you, that's on them for listening to you.
Well,
But
but you have to establish. You also have to establish that. I think there's a difference in teaching within the church, and worship services and things like that. Teaching men about the Bible and teaching people in other areas. You have music. I had chorus every single day, and my chorus teacher was a woman. But we also did ministry in that chorus class. I mean, like we would go.
The best
on
Bible
chorus
teacher I've ever
trips.
had, seriously, like top 3, is a little old lady at Jacksonburg Church of Christ who's the preacher's wife. And I had her in Sunday school, and she molded me like nobody's business. And I give her so much credit
But
for putting up with this twerk.
You could teach the kids.
There is no Ben and Travis without
to
Matty
sing.
Gooch. I'm just telling you, right? There is none.
You can teach the kids
there
how
you
to
go, man.
sing. You can become a teacher. And I think, and we're not going to get way too off into the deep end of stuff, but you can teach music, and teach people how to sing. And I don't think there's anything in the world wrong with that. That's not teaching Bible. That's not, now I get,
Anyway.
I get worship. I get worship,
Yeah.
and all that, but teaching people how to sing, how to do some parts, even helping someone. If there's a man that can be in there and it's
I
helping.
guarantee you, if you wanted to lead sing at Transform, they can make it happen. I mean,
So
those things are blowing up because
there's
women,
a lot of ladies
in general,
days,
women are more geared and interested in biblical things.
ladies retreats,
It's blowing
ladies,
up. Like Whitney,
ladies.
I'm
days,
always
they're
like,
huge.
go speak at this event. They invited you. Oh, no. I'm like, you'd be great. You need to go. She did the Transform thing because I basically begged her, like, yes, you need to do this.
And then she's like the most talked about speaker.
Yeah. So, I mean,
maybe not, but she was.
fine.
I've heard a lot of women talk about her. Don't limit yourself. There's just so much. Like, in my opinion, God said, men do this, lead, or get up in front of people because you're not going to if we don't make you. If that's, I feel like that's God kind of pushed us that way.
Most of the commands are things that we're not. We have to be commanded to do them.
Right.
I don't naturally want to lead in a lot of situations, right?
But
it doesn't come naturally.
Because of
especially when
that,
my wife's involved and I want her to be happy. Adam, Eve, I connect with that. But
because of that, I think you guys have such an important role in the church. The ladies, and I say this all the time at our congregation, our ladies are the backbone of the church. And I'm sure it's the same way at Salem.
And I can't imagine being blessed with the talents and then feel like you can't do those things. But the thing is you just got to be creative in your approach on it. There's ways that you can find to do the things that you want to do. Like I said, the podcast, put it out there. I would love to train people on music. I don't think that's wrong to advertise even in the foyer. And even if it's not a church time, people could take you up on it or not. Mm-hmm. Here's my number. I'd love to teach you about how to sing. Mm-hmm. It can be outside of Bible class, whatever. So don't limit yourself more, because I think sometimes we create, I'm not saying you do this, but there are a lot of people who create a boundary that's not really there because in one aspect they can't do this. Mm-hmm. I hate to even say can't do that, but this is the guy that leads the songs in Fun Sing. I'm the goofball, right? I'd rather not have the mic near my mouth, and I can do bass pretty well, but I'd rather not be singing. My real gift is being a goofball. And so there are aspects of being a goofball that don't have their place in certain atmospheres of church. But VBS is my jam. Maywood is my jam. And somehow we've turned it into this CYC thing.
He's just a big dumb
But we didn't
animal,
start
folks.
off with that. It wasn't like, hey, we're going to do this and craft it and we're going to be on the stage in front of 12,000 people. Those things just happen when you put in the effort. And Transform may need a Ben and Travis show.
I would love that. That'd be awesome.
Why not? I'm serious.
I'm sure they'd love to see
Pam,
19-year-old Russian girl up on the stage with a 19-year-old American girl from Green Hill, Alabama going, Spunsing!
I would be willing to guess they'd let you try.
I would love that.
If they've kept us. You've seen some of the garbage we put out there, cell phone footage, so you just got to think out the box a little bit.
I appreciate it.
Great question.
I think that's a great example of using your talents, your strong sides in a creative way, and just how you can be that model figure for so many people and be that light for so many people while you're just doing the most random thing and you're loving it and people are loving it and they
bring smiles to people's face.
And you bring people closer to God. We love y'all so much.
Well, thank you guys for being here and being great examples.
Staying up really late when you probably would rather be in bed.
Yeah. You guys are awesome. Thanks for this wonderful episode. Thanks for being with us for this episode of the Helping Healing Humor podcast. Be sure to download our free ebook, 28 Days of Focused Living, at benandtravis.com and receive all of our Helping Healing and Humor extra content directly in your inbox. We look forward to having you join us at the same Ben and Travis time, same Ben and Travis channel.